Well, what brought me to Arena Stage, I actually had a mentor that I was working with in college, and he had known that I wanted to stay in DC for theater, so he pointed out a bunch of different options, job opportunities, fellowships, internships in the city. And what caught my eye about Arena was the mix between professional workplace experience and education, because getting that educational aspect is really important to me still in this part of my career. And I thought the emphasis on education in general was really interesting.
Yeah, so what brought me here was my search for something to do after schooling, and also just trying to get away, finding something different to do, a new job. So yeah, definitely the education mixed with the fact that it's a passion of what I like to do, design and theater.
Well, my day-to-day looks a lot like attending meetings with the development team. So there's 3 core structures within the development team, well 4, and I get to attend the meetings that they put on, which is really cool. And doing ACNOs and research briefs, a lot of stuff on the computer, but I think a great thing is also whenever there's an opening night approaching or something where we need to engage donors, that kind of switches up the pot a bit. And so sometimes then we can pivot towards event setup, or an opening night, I get to take home a lot of cupcakes. Yeah. So there's those little treats in between the typical work, which I think is really fun about working in the administration part of the arts, because you get both sides.
My day-to-day is different depending on what events are going on in the building. So if we have a Mardi Gras night or something like that, then I'm creating signage, but most of my time is spent in the office doing stuff digitally, getting notes.
Working specifically in development, because it's tied to the donors and arts funding, a lot of what I do is research on our donors, making acknowledgments for donations that we get, so contributions that we get. I help support that, and supporting the teams as a whole. So if there's any outreach that we're doing for events, we're doing a military appreciation night coming up, so I've been doing a lot of outreach to the community stores recently for a raffle in that, but also outreach to our partners for that, just to keep up communication. It's a lot of communicating with the DC community, to be honest, is how I would sum up working in development.
It's a lot of designer meetings, doing a lot of research, reading some scripts, just so I can get a general feel of the shows. And then usually it's just creating from there.
I really like the fact that as the fellows, we kind of have our own little community cohort, and so because we're all new at the same time, we're all in the same age range, and we're all at the same level of experience, we can talk a lot and relate to each other a lot. And so going out to shows with you guys is so fun, but also just when the fellows come and hang out at my house, or going to the mixers and meeting other fellows, but knowing that my Arena fellows, we've been through it since September together, so there's that bond that I've definitely noticed has grown over time with all of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say the mixers that we get to do, just meeting the other regional theaters, that's a really cool thing to be a part of. Oh, see, we have lunch and learns where we all get together and ask questions and learn some educational things, some different topics, whether it's your taxes or about CE in the different departments in the theater. So in the beginning for me, I feel my mentor relationship, there was a lot of back and forth, just because I was trying to get used to how things are done at Arena, the branding, the timelines for the shows, and just how much content we have to put together. So that really looks like a lot of meetings, a lot of back and forth, this thing doesn't work, this thing does work. A lot of no's, but then some really big yeses as well. It's an uplifting educational relationship with my mentor.
I like that. I would agree. I would describe my mentor relationship as an uplifting educational experience. I have daily check-ins with my supervisor, but then me and my mentor, we meet weekly to bi-weekly. And it's been a great opportunity to meet with someone in a position that you kind of like dream about having one day, and like being able to like pick their brain about like what it looks like to actually work up to where they are, but also like being able to ask like questions about like how you show up as your whole self in a workplace, and being able to be like vulnerable in that way with someone who's willing to be honest about like the insecurities that come with like trying to get a job in the arts. That's been really nice. I feel like I've had really authentic conversation with my mentor that has been like very impactful on like my ability to like show up confidently and feel like I actually belong in the space that I'm working in. It's hard to answer because I feel like arts, like development and arts funding is like so much learn by doing. So I feel like every aspect of the fellowship has been so helpful because it's been like on hands experience the whole way through. Kind of like a broader answer would be like along the lines of like when you're like communicating with donors in like a very big establishment, it can be like very intimidating, but to know like people even at like a very prestigious theater are very like welcoming, and like that human community connection is there regardless of like the prestige that arena has earned, helps you feel like you belong in the space and like you can take on like intimidating roles. So I feel like something that has been the most useful is like I've developed less fear going towards like scarier tasks, because like I know that like I have a bunch of smart people on the team who like support me growing and will catch me if I fall and make a mistake, but like also are uplifting me to challenge myself.
That's good. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think a lot of it is definitely experience based. I would say as a designer, dealing with like imposter syndrome, definitely doing this helped, because I feel like a lot of it is just you fail and then you try again. And when it works, like that's what helped me get over that fear of feeling like, you know, I'm not good enough, or, you know, why am I in this position that I'm in? So a lot of it is just experience, hands-on, getting to design, getting to create these different things, talk to different people. Definitely to just do it. Definitely do it. Don't consider it. Just apply. I would also say maybe get familiar with the theater, attend a couple shows, learn the building a little bit.
That's like good advice. I would agree with both of those. Remember the joy, because there is that aspect of like imposter syndrome, or you can get very caught up in like the goal part of it, of now I've gotten here, what's next, or like building in that way. But remember the joy and like the fact that you love the arts and that's why you're here. Remind yourself that you belong here and show up in the interview as your authentic self, because you belong here because you love the art, and who you are is good enough.